Welcome to the party, pal. You're from the neighborhood Master of Chaos, back with you once again. Tonight, I bring you a gift. I'm going to tell you all about a show that you should be watching. And if you're not watching, you should go watch it right the fuck now. Well, watch this video. After you watch this video to know why you want to watch the show, go watch UTOPIA. The plot of UTOPIA is scarily prescient because it has to do with a pandemic that is threatening the end of the world. Keep in mind, this show was shot last year, had no idea COVID was right around the corner, but watching this show, you get very, very eerie similarities to what is happening right now. The plot is bonkers, but in a beautiful way. It's all about a famous underground comic book called Dystopia, and fans of this comic know that there are hidden meanings and messages within the artwork and the pages that signal world-changing events, life-threatening events, even world-ending events. The conspiracy theorists that cling onto the work in Dystopia say that we see everything from the prediction of SARS to different viruses to yada yada yada. So basically this comic book, Dystopia, has developed a massive cult following of conspiracy theorists. Now, at the beginning of the show, someone stumbles onto the missing, apparently no one even believed it existed, sequel. And the sequel is UTOPIA. This comic book is sort of the bookend to Dystopia and apparently reveals the villain behind all the world issues that are going to be happening virus-wise, and basically, I guess, holds the key to saving the world. Essentially, that's what the conspiracy theorists believe. Now, when the Utopia comic book hits the market at a convention, a group of 4 friends led by Jessica Roth, who you would know from Happy Death Day, she takes her 4 pals to this convention to try to buy the comic. They're having a private auction for it, and they run afoul of some bad guys who apparently are really bad fucking dudes that work for the real bad guy that was sort of hinted at in the comic books. So now they realize that the conspiracy theories are true. The bad guys in Dystopia and UTOPIA are real. The predictions are correct, and now they're marked for death because they've seen UTOPIA, and if they pull their knowledge, maybe they can unlock the secrets and save the world before the bad guys get to them. That's a really rough plot outline. Essentially, the show is about a comic book that predicts the end of the world and the people who want to save the world versus the people who want to kill the world. UTOPIA is based off of an old TV show, a British TV show that ran in 2013 and 2014. It had 2 6-episode seasons. I haven't watched that. To be honest, I didn't even know it existed until I discovered the Amazon show. The Amazon show is funny enough, it is a show run by Gillian Flynn. I don't know if you guys know who Gillian Flynn is. She is the author of Gone Girl, famous book, a great movie. It's a story and a movie that after I had experienced them, I no longer see my wife in the same light, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this is Gillian Flynn's baby. She had nothing to do with the British show. But I'm guessing she was a fan and decided to, create the American version for Amazon. And here we are. And I gotta say, she does a phenomenal freaking job. This show has more balls than almost any show I've seen on TV in the past decade. That's what makes it really interesting. This is a show that's not afraid to pull punches. It's not afraid to show blood and guts and torture. There's gratuitous and then there's gratuitous. But in this show, the violence that we get, I feel, for the most part, is justified. You know what? We should really talk about the cast. This show has an amazing cast and a well-used cast. I mean, some shows, cast a big name and they put them in random scenes here and there just to milk the fact that they've got, so-and-so on the set. Now, this show uses their cast sparingly, but rewardingly, and they serve the story as opposed to the story serving the, lead actor or the famous actor, the name actor kind of thing, which I really appreciate of the show. Let's start with Jessica Roth from Happy Death Day. She is amazing in this show. I'm a big fan of her stuff. Loved her in the Happy Death Day movies. I thought she was really great in the new Valley Girl movie. Here she shines as sort of the leader of this ragtag bunch of conspiracy theorists, and she does a phenomenal job, and I think the show really, really stands out because of her performance. John Cusack is also in this show. He's fantastic as sort of an Elon Musk, Bill Gates type of scientist, and his lab, he has like a big lab, multinational corporation kind of deal, and they've created something called Simpro, or Simple Protein. It's a lab-created meat that he hopes will help, feed the world. However, it may also be responsible for this deathly flu that has just started in middle America, and his company's sort of under attack because they believe that he sort of unwittingly, with this sort of, genetically modified meat, kicked off this pandemic. Now, the other big star in the show is Dwight Schrute himself. I've been a big Rainn Wilson fan for a while. As a matter of fact, I didn't really see The Office until recently. I was a fan of his from the film Super. I saw that at the world premiere here in Los Angeles with James Gunn and the rest of the cast. And I loved that movie. I loved his performance in that movie. And I was a big fan of his stuff. And I thought he was great in The Meg. If you guys watched The Meg, really good. He was really, really good in that, actually. And then just recently I watched The Office, and I loved him as Dwight. He's a very interesting actor. He can be kind of chameleon at times, but then also very much a character actor. Like, he has a specific thing he can do, and he's just really good at sort of delivering an awkward performance, but in a good way, like a solid way. Anyway, he plays a biologist, a viral kind of medical doctor who has actually discovered this flu. He works for John Cusack, and sort of, at least in the early episodes, his job is to investigate the flu and find out what is going on, and if the vaccine he's developed can potentially be the cure. Now, I promise no spoilers. I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not going to tell you anything else. Those are sort of the main three characters for me. There's a couple of other standout performances as well. You got Ashley LaThorpe as Becky, Dan Bird as Ian, Desmond Borges as Wilson. He is awesome. And then, of course, probably my favorite character so far is Christopher Denham as Arby. This guy is knucking futz. So what I'm going to do now is give you 3 clear reasons why you should be watching Utopia. The writing is stellar. It is so good. The writing on this show is fantastic. The actors feel organic. Nothing is forced. And best of all, when you're getting exposition dumps, they don't feel like exposition dumps. As a matter of fact, you want them to tell you what's going on. So when people, hey, okay, this is what's happening, tell me. Go ahead, I'm right here. And what I love about the show is it's not like Lost or some of those mystery box shows where they keep you in the dark and they're like, oh, well, that's a story for another time. Remember that one from Force Awakens? This show tells you what the freaking hell is going on. And I love that. I appreciate that. I respect that. Because why? Because it's true to the characters in the world. They're not writing for us. They're not writing for an audience. They're not trying to hook us and wait. Hey, I'm going to bury some Easter eggs to make people come back. No, in the real world, these characters would say this. These characters would explain what's going on. Speaking of plot, number 2 is the plot. The plot is so compelling and so timely. Okay, look at this. This is a show that is about a pandemic that is rampaging across the world, can threaten almost, the lives of everybody. And guess what's happening now? So this is the perfect show for now. As a matter of fact, at the beginning of the show, they have a disclaimer. This is not based on anything or any real pandemics or blah, blah, blah. To kind of tell people, hey, we didn't know this was going to happen, but holy shit, it's happening. I'm not saying there's a utopia out there that can save us, but hey, anything is possible, right? Number 3, this goes back to my talk about the cast. The characters are so great. And thankfully, to some really great casting, the acting is wonderful. This show is a joy to watch. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this show's not for everybody. It is very violent. Episode 2, there is a torture sequence that goes on for a long time, and they don't cut away. And I will slight spoilers. It involves an eyeball. That's all I'm gonna say. And it is torturous, as it should be. But we watch every minute of it, and the acting in that scene is chillingly realistic. And that's one thing that really sets the show aside. It is ballsy and it is violent, and the actors are willing to go there, and it shows, man. This show sometimes leaves you going, whoa, shit, how'd they get away with that on TV? It is real. Honestly, almost every episode, there's a really violent sequence or a violent fight or something that just makes your jaw fucking drop because you're like, I can't, that's awesome. I can't believe they just did that. I talk about episode 2. Episode 2 has 2 giant shocks that if you're not hooked by episode 2, well, then I guess check out. Pal, I'm going to assume that the only hurdle you have when it comes to watching Utopia is that you don't have an Amazon Prime account. And honestly, why don't you have an Amazon Prime account? It's amazing. 2-day shipping, free shipping, discounts on movies, the streaming service alone. There's so many obscure, weird movies on there. Watch Utopia. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Man, this show rocks my fucking pants off. Well, let me clarify that by saying I don't watch the show without pants. I'm usually wearing pants. Usually. Well, there you have it, folks. That's it for me today. I just really wanted to tell you about Utopia on this TV Terror Thursday. I just finished the show. I'm so jazzed. I'm so excited. I really love it. And there's good news. Season 2 is in the works. Gillian Flynn has said she has started work prepping Season 2. However, there has not been, as of the recording of this video, an official announcement for Season 2. But with everything that's happening now, the fact that the show's about a pandemic, and it came out during a pandemic, maybe, I don't know how it's doing in the ratings. I don't know how that all factors in. But this show is just so well put together. I have no doubt it's going to get a Season 2. Gillian Flynn wouldn't be wasting her time working on a Season 2 if Amazon had told her, nah, don't worry about it, I think we're done. Well, pal, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you do, you'll see me tomorrow. Master Chaos comes at you daily, and I had a wonderful time chatting with you, and I'd love to see you again. That'll do, pal. I hope this video has found you happy, healthy, and well. I do wish you the best. Please take care of yourselves out there, and until we meet again, I wish you a very pleasant good day, good evening, or good night, wherever you are. And please remember, your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos remains to be continued.